a fascinating case study in the power and limitations of lies.
Yeah, she's probably the most talented of the Trump-centric candidacies, maybe the most famous Trump-centric candidate in the country. I mean, she's had this sort of communications aura around her that she was kind of Trump next level in terms of being able to carry the message. But she, if the numbers hold, is not going to win. Blake Masters was a Trump-centric candidate. He's not going to win. And when I think about lessons learned from this election going into the next one, look at all these states we've been talking about: Arizona, Pennsylvania, Nevada. And these are all presidential swing states. And so if the Trump-centric candidates this year, the people running to sort of relitigate 2020 and talk about election denialism, if they came up short this year, what would that mean if the Republican Party nominated Donald Trump in 2024? Do we think these independent voters who broke against Republicans are suddenly going to rethink that position in years? I doubt it. So there are a lot of lessons to be learned here. She was probably, from a tactical or technical perspective, the best of the all-in on Trump candidacies. And there's a lesson to be learned.
Yeah. Audie, I mean, Doug Mastriano conceded defeat, an election denier. Is it too optimistic to think that this is sort of the death knell of the popularity of these election lies?
I mean, certainly there was such a rebuke of Secretary of State candidates in particular. It was a coalition called the America First Coalition. Mark Finchem in Arizona is one of them. And they have been pretty soundly rejected by the voters. One thing is a lot of these Republican candidates were emboldened by the primary process. So there was not some grand pivot to appeal to independent or persuadable voters like Kari Lake. She's all in on her message, and therefore I think it turned out to be a pretty good bet for Democrats who poured money into some of these races to boost the deniers.
Because, that was controversial. There were a lot of people who were saying, look, that's
controversial. It seemed really unwise, and it probably would have been, as I said, if those candidates didn't just run with it, if they had turned and said, oh, yeah, let me tamp down some of this because now I'm in the general election. They did not. And actually what's been surprising is to hear concession speeches, to hear that the phone calls are being made. That means that maybe some people have taken in that lesson and understood that just kind of going to the mat in the way a Trump might have done is not going to yield the returns that you want.
David, what do you think about that? Do you think this is a death knell for these conspiracies?
Well, I don't think it'll be the death knell for conspiracy theories, but I think the Republican Party may grow a stronger spine in standing up to it. Actually, in Arizona, there was a very spirited primary campaign, and the governor and others got behind a different candidate who did not accept the conspiracy theories. She narrowly lost. I think the lesson here, and she may well have won this election for Republicans. So across the country, the lesson should be, let's dispatch with all of this and compete on a different battleground here, because this election denier stuff that Trump is so connected with is a loser for us. And, practical people will make that decision, I think. Yeah.